Number 6, sauna and heat exposure. Most people think of the sauna as a luxury. Turns out it's closer to medicine. Sit in 170-degree heat for 15 to 20 minutes, and your body perceives this extreme heat as a form of physical stress. So your sympathetic nervous system activates, spiking your cortisol and increasing your heart rate. Scientists call this hormesis. And do that 3 to 7 times a week, and your baseline stress levels actually drop. Finnish researchers confirmed this when they tracked over 2,300 men for 2 decades in what is now known as the Kuopio ischemic heart disease study. Men who were long-term and consistent sauna users had a 40% lower risk of all-cause mortality, 50% lower risk of cardiovascular disease, and 63% lower risk of sudden cardiac arrest compared to infrequent users. You've heard about exercising and working out to help with stress, but this methodology of sitting in a sauna and sweating without any physical exertion is possibly one of the most simple interventions that not only alleviate stress, but also have long-term health benefits. You don't need to be athletic nor need to worry about the correct form. The scientific data is undeniable. It's time to incorporate sauna into your regime weekly and consistently. Number 5, cold showers and cold exposure. 2 minutes of cold water in your morning shower can rewire how your body handles every other stressor for the rest of the day. Czech researchers submerged volunteers in 57-degree water, and their norepinephrine jumped 530% and dopamine increased by 250%, whilst cortisol trended down. By shifting these chemicals, you're essentially training your nervous system to stay calm under pressure and stress, the same way a muscle builds strength from resistance. The best part is, the cost is zero. Start by turning the last 30 seconds of your shower cold, then build from there over a few weeks. Controlled breathing is the key in those first moments. Slow exhales signal to your brain that there's no actual threat. People who combine sauna and cold plunges, often called contrast therapy, are stacking both stress-reducing adaptations at once. Do both consistently, and you'll build a resilient tolerance to stress and gain the ability to stay composed and sharp regardless of what life throws at you. Number 4, morning sunlight exposure and circadian alignment. Your cortisol, also known as the stress hormone, has a schedule. It peaks within 30 to 40 minutes after waking, giving you alertness, energy, focus, and physiological regulation for the day. Then it steadily falls throughout the day so that by evening, your body is calm and ready for sleep. When that schedule gets disrupted, chronic stress follows. Morning sunlight is the biological trigger that sets it. Natural light hitting your retinas travels straight to a cluster of cells in your hypothalamus called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Scientists call this the body's master circadian clock because it aligns and synchronizes your biological processes with the external environment. Get bright light early, and research shows your cortisol awakening response gets sharper and more defined, which allows cortisol to naturally fall for the rest of the day. That same morning light signal determines when your brain releases melatonin at night. Better timing means deeper sleep, which further resets your stress hormones the following day. Skipping morning light disrupts your circadian rhythm, which may explain why you're wired at night and foggy in the morning. 10 to 15 minutes of morning sunlight right when you wake up is enough. Pair it with a short walk and you're doubling the benefit. Number 3, nature exposure and forest bathing. The Japanese have a practice called Shinrin-yoku, which translates to forest bathing. The scientific data was so strong that they implemented it into their national health program to promote preventative wellness. Studies show that just 20 minutes in a natural green space, simply walking, sitting, or observing, resulted in cortisol levels dropping between 12 to 18%. It's because trees emit airborne compounds called phytoncides, which scientifically have shown to boost immune functions, improve mood, and reduce stress. Cities are loud, overstimulating, and relentless on your attentional system. Nature triggers what researchers call effortless attention, a soft, wide focus awareness that lets your overworked prefrontal cortex rest and recover. It makes so much sense why cities make effort and prioritize urban green spaces. Mother Nature is truly therapeutic, so if you're feeling stressed, go touch grass. Number two, listening to relaxing music. Surgeons have started prescribing playlists prior to surgery. Studies have shown that patients who listen to music before going under anesthesia show their cortisol trending downward, while patients without music watch theirs climb by roughly 50% from anticipatory stress. If a stethoscope wearing professional trusts a pair of headphones to calm someone before surgery, it's worth trusting the same tool before your Monday morning meeting. The mechanism runs through your reward circuitry and your amygdala at once, dopamine rising while the brain's threat detector quiets down. Slower tempos around 60 to 80 beats per minute can pull your heart rate toward that same rhythm through a phenomenon called entrainment. Instrumental tracks tend to outperform lyrics since words pull your prefrontal cortex into language processing. And most people default to music as background noise while doing five other things, which ultimately diminishes almost all of the benefits. All you need is 20 minutes of attentive listening without any distractions for it to be an effective tool for stress management. Just make sure to keep the volume below 100 decibels. Number one, time management. Chronic stress often lives in the gap between what you have to do and how much control you feel over your day. When everything feels urgent and nothing feels manageable, your body is in a state of constant stress, constantly flooding itself with cortisol. A study on time management training found that after just a few sessions building basic prioritization skills, perceived control went up and self-reported stress went down, even though the actual amount of work sitting on people's desks stayed exactly the same. The work didn't change. The perception of control over it did, and that was enough to alleviate stress. Because anticipatory stress, the low-grade dread of not knowing what's coming next, is one of the most potent cortisol spiking experiences humans face. Something as simple as blocking 1 hour for organizing and planning, 30 minutes for a walk, and 2 hours for deep work gives your nervous system a map. It doesn't need to be rigid minute-by-minute scheduling. That loose structure creates a perceived sense of control and mental clarity, both of which are physiological stress reducers. So when you're feeling overwhelmed and paralyzed, try taking some time to organize and structure your day. Because when you feel like you are in control with a sense of direction, it reduces cortisol, and you're simply not as stressed. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to see more.